Well, Green Dragon Gas has exceeded its production target in 2015 and penciled a further rise of a third in the current year. Well, output at the end of 2015 was 12.1 billion cubic feet, and this run rate is scheduled to rise to 16 billion by the end of 2016. It was the unconventional gas suppliers' first guidance for the current year. Well, joining me now is Chairman Randeep Grewal. Now, Randeep, this is testimony to several things: your strategy and your proprietary leaf fabric technology, which is being used in 46 of the wells.
That's correct, 100%.
So you must be exceptionally proud that the story is nearly all yours.
Well, the story is ours in the sense that it's a story that's been out there for a long time. And the fruit is very sweet when you've worked so hard for it. We've been at this for a better part of 20 years, 10 of which we've been public here in the UK. So it's been a long journey. And yes, it's a very good intersection we're at today, yes.
So what I haven't reminded the investors is that you are in fact in China. This is what is supplying most of the numbers that I've just outlined in my introduction there. You're benefiting for other reasons. The Chinese government in 2013 realised that there was a pollution shock there, and they implemented an action plan which included natural gas is to replace coal by 2017 in power stations there. So how well placed are you to benefit from this legislation?
I think the legislation, first of all, is a continuation of the Chinese government's plans. The government is very clear in its mind that it wants to look and feel very much like a developed country like every other part of the world, where the energy mix 25% to 30% is normally natural gas. Here in the UK, it's almost 30% of the energy mix is natural gas, while in China, we're still in single digits. So the energy demand is growing. Coal production did continue to grow. But natural gas, while growing, is still under 10% of the energy mix. So the energy shock, or if you will, the pollution shock, further explains what the government is doing, is to say, going forward, all expansion of power plants, as an example that you raised, among industrial plant expansions, have to be natural gas fired. And the objective there is to get the energy mix to be normal, where 20 to 25% of that is natural gas. So as the energy demand continues to rise, within the energy demand, the hockey stick is natural gas, which is exactly centered to our strategy. Okay,
so the energy mix for natural gas, it's predicted to rise. Are you able to supply?
Even if we supplied our entire 25 trillion cubic feet of gas reserves, China would still be importing gas. The demand just exceeds what domestic suppliers can provide. We are certainly an integral component of the supply chain, but the government will have to continue to import gas. It just needs a lot more. Okay,
well, you do hold at the moment 6 production sharing agreements with strong Chinese partners, including PetroChina and CNPC. Is there a potential to strike more of these deals, or have you got deals with all those who already matter?
Well, we've got all the deals that we want to have, candidly. Over the years, certainly over the last 20 years, we've been offered many, many transactions. We're fortunate that we got to China long before what China is today. So we got in the mid-90s, we negotiated agreements that are quite lucrative. We think that's what we need to focus on. It's over 7,600 square kilometers, a very large area. 2 coal seams to develop, in some cases up to 13 coal seams to develop, 25 trillion cubic feet of gas, and so far we're just at about 5 to 8% of that acreage in development. Lots of runway in front of us. We don't need to do another deal. We've just got to stay with what we've got. We understand our home rather well. We just need to develop it.
Okay, I'm just wondering what kind of an investment case you are. It's almost like a contrarian investment case, because I understand that you are relatively unaffected by the benchmark commodity price for gas that is impacting all the other oil and gas producers around the world.
I said it a year ago, I don't really care if Brent is at 25 or at 125. I'll say it a year later, I still don't care if Brent is either 25 or 125. Oil pricing globally has no effect on us at all, none whatsoever. Natural gas is a regional commodity. And one of the great things the Chinese central government has done has made a simple but a very important policy. The view is whatever the government pays third parties to deliver gas to China, they're happy for a domestic producer to be paid the same. Hence, the gas pricing in China for a domestic producer provides the highest net margin in the space and has for a very long time consistently. So our net margin per 1,000 cubic feet of gas is almost $10 an MCF. We make $8 net. $10 is the realized price minus our cost. We can make about $8 net per 1,000 cubic feet, which is by far greater than most people's gas sales prices. That's our net cash price.
Okay. So the narrative about Green Dragon Gas's story started 20 years ago, established in China, long before the exponential rise that we saw in GDP within the territories there.
That's correct.
But yet it took you, 19 years to get to your transformational year, which was 2015. What's the ambition for 2016? What's the focus now?
Make money in a very simplistic way.
For the shareholders.
For the shareholders. It's time to really get the returns. It's been a long road. Certainly, if we roll back the clock, if someone had said to me, this is going to take you 20 years, I probably would have taken a different strata. I would not have focused on what we did. When we started, we thought this was a 5-year investment cycle. We thought we were able to bring technologies over from the US where we had experience with coal bed methane, apply them, and it was all going to work out in a larger acreage position and feed domestic gas to China. And it turned out that the subsurface geology was significantly more complicated. And being an engineer, we refused to give up. We kept on working until we developed our proprietary methodology that we call Le Fabric, which is specifically designed for the subsurface geology of China, not China in that sense, Asia-wide. We've had experience in different parts of the continent, and most of the coal seams are highly faulted and fragmented. So Le Fabric is able to commercialize the desorption of gas from coal in small little fault blocks scattered all over a depth that is inconsistent. And we do rather well with that. And that's what took us a long time. So the technology development itself took out about 10 years in that process. So half of the time we've spent is simply developing the right tools to get the gas out. And the first well we drilled was in 2008. It's a remarkable success, continues to produce. It's produced over 1 billion cubic feet so far with no decline whatsoever. And well after well is doing the same thing. So we're very much now ready to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And you're going to see that come through in 2016.
So you've got proof of concept with this technology. So I'm wondering, it's working in China. You're staying there. But for how long? Will you remain in China and take your proven strategy to other territories around the globe?
I think Green Dragon Gas started its life as a pure Chinese company, pure Chinese gas developer, and pure Chinese gas developer in central China. We're the master of that trade, and we're going to stay with that trade. I don't see Green Dragon Gas leaving China. We've got lots to do there for the next certainly 25 to 30 years, if not longer. And that's what we're focused on. We want to stay with what we know really well. That's what GDG will continue to do.
So you're telling me that no one from South Africa, nobody from India has been knocking on your door saying, come and help us, we want to partner with you, bring your technology here?
I think there's another company called Greco Drilling that does that very well for them. But Green Dragon Gas exclusively is the gas resource owner in China, and that's what it shall continue to own.
Very good. Love it. Thank you very much. Randeep Grewal, Chairman of Green Dragon Gas, which is wholly committed to China. Thank you very much indeed.
To central China.
To central China.
Thank you very much.